Hey guys, I just got home from work a few minutes ago. I wasn't planning on this video, but I turned on the TV and I really got aggravated, so I want to respond. Back in the day, back in the 80s when I started getting involved in politics, one of our great leaders in the movement was Dr. James Kennedy. He was a Protestant like myself, but we knew to get Ronald Reagan elected, we would need all Christians to come together. And we knew that Catholic Christians, not the Catholic Christians that don't go to church, the ones that go to church every Sunday, were just as conservative as we were. Their values and ours were aligned. And we worked together, and, we would argue off air our theological differences. As Protestants, evangelicals, we believed that the communion host was just a wafer. We knew that Catholics believed Jesus said what he meant what he said when he said, "This is my body." But that was a theological issue we could deal with later. But we were honest. This is what they believe. This is what we believe. And, we believed that baptism was symbolic, and we knew the Catholics believed the Bible, 1 Peter 3:21, where it says baptism now saves you, but this was a theological issue, and we were honest. That's what they believe. This is what we believe. But what I just seen now got me so aggravated because they were very dishonest. So here we are. I get excited. So, okay, this guy looks pretty cool. Bob Vander, Platts, the leader of the Family Leader, the president of the Family Leader. So the way it was described was kind of like focus on the family with James Dobson, where they got involved to get pro-life, candidates elected. And he was talking about how we got to do this. And then the freaking host, man, I don't even want to say what I feel like saying about him. I think his name is Mike Slater. I'm pretty sure. I Googled him, and that's what it looks like. He is Mike Slater. If it's not Mike Slater, I apologize to the real Mike Slater. But this was on OAN, a conservative network. Usually it's pretty good, honest reporting. I get it streaming for free, so, it's not like the biggest network. But anyway, so he's interviewing Bob Vander, Platts, the president of the Family Leader. And he's like, yeah, what do you think about the Catholic Church now blessing same-sex unions? Now, Dr. James Dobson was very bright. This guy, Bob Vander, Platts, either isn't very bright or he's a plant by the liberals to separate, defeat Donald Trump and defeat the Republican Party this election. Dr. James Dobson would be smart enough to answer that question and say, no. Catholics don't believe that. This, and where they get this from is fiducia supplicans, which in the document itself quoted a document from 2021 where Pope Francis approved it, and it said the church cannot bless same-sex unions because God cannot bless sin. And in fiducia supplicans, not only did it keep referring back to that document, saying everything in that document is true, it went on to say, therefore, the church cannot bless same-sex unions or anything that could be mistaken for a same-sex union. What those who are lying about the Catholic Church are just not smart enough to read the document and understand English. What the document actually says and what they're taking out of context is if two people in an irregular marriage, being not married, civilly married, or, not recognized by the church, it could be a guy and a girl, but the church doesn't recognize their marriage as valid for whatever reason, be it divorce and remarriage or something like that. Or a same-sex couple that the church, and it clearly says, doesn't recognize as a marriage. It's an irregular marriage. If they come to the priest, desperately pleading for help to do better and to live a better life, the priest can do a spontaneous blessing. Again, it cannot be mistaken as he's blessing the union, and pray for them to receive actual grace to help them to repent. Boom. So either Bob Vander, Platts is not bright enough to understand what his greatest ally believes, or he's a plant and he wants to break this up, because we're not going to elect Trump if Catholics and Protestants don't come together and work for the most pro-life president we have, to defeat the most pro-abortion president we have today. This is very important. So it just blows my mind that the guy interviewing him, supposedly he's a conservative, would throw that out there and offend all of us American Catholics that are watching this guy, and to be so naive and so ignorant to talk about a church and not even know what they believe and what they teach. The Catholic Church holds a way higher standard of marriage than any Protestant church that Bob Vander, Platts, or Mike Slater might attend. I guarantee you that. So for them to lie, and it reminded me of they're taking a book out of the liberal media. Either they're really stupid, or they're taking a book out of the liberal media where they ask a dishonest question and then they treat it like it's an honest question. You know, you see it all the time on the liberal media. They do that, and then they just keep repeating the narrative that's untrue. You know, so this is a warning, a friendly warning. We're on your side, but stop lying about us, because you're gonna destroy us. And if you keep lying about us, we're gonna figure that you're not on our side, and we're gonna expose you. We'll find out about you, Bob Vander, Platts, and Mike Slater rather. Yeah, so that's that. And then after that, he brings Frank Pavone on, and again he asks a misleading question, or he starts off with a misleading statement, a lie. Frank Pavone, so you were defrocked for your political views. No, Frank Pavone was defrocked for disobeying his bishop, who for 12 years told him he needs to come back to the Diocese of Texas. That's where he worked. His prior bishop let him go to Florida to start up a pro-life ministry for 2 years. But then when he was there, several women accused him of sexual assault. Several women accused him of deviance and sexual things and making him feel uncomfortable. So the bishop said, you need to get back here. We need to discuss this. And he disobeyed his bishop. Priests take a vow of obedience to their bishops. That's why he got fired, not because of his political views. You know, the bishop in California who denied Nancy Pelosi Eucharist, he's more conservative than Frank Pavone. He never got in trouble. You know, Bishop Barron's always talking about pro-life things and pro-family things. He never gets in trouble. So that's a false narrative. Whenever a priest or a bishop is disobedient, they use a red herring or a straw man and say, oh, they don't like me because I'm on your side. I'm one of you. They're against you and me. Again, a liberal tactic from the left. So Mike's slacker, please stop lying about the Catholic Church. And Bob Vander, Platts, if you're a sincere Christian, which at this point I'm not sure, you need to educate yourself, because you sound very ignorant talking about the Catholic Church and you have no idea what you're talking about. It's a complete lie. You can go to Fiducia Supplicants and just read it. A third grader could read it and understand it. Right out of the gate, the church cannot bless same-sex unions or anything that appears to be a same-sex union. So anyway, I had to get that out. When people lie about our church, we need to defend it. So God bless and stay Catholic.